YouTube Nation, what is up? Eagles Truth here with you, and Eagles fans, this is kind of like a powwow session right now, all right? So if you're a fan of another team, an NFC East rival or something like that, you're not going to find this video, unless you're the Dallas Cowboys maybe, a Dallas Cowboy fan, but you're not going to find this video very interesting, all right? It's mostly for us Eagles fans. All right, we got to look at this schedule. We face the Lions this Sunday. We got to look at this schedule like there's only 3 games remaining, not 4. Take that Week 17 Dallas game, all right, and just kind of put it on a shelf somewhere, all right? We'll get to it. But look at these last 3 games. Focus on these last 3 games. Because what we got to do, at the very least, if we want to make the playoffs, or at least win the division, which is most likely the way it's going to get in. Because you look at the wild card round, San Francisco is 1 game up on us. If we tie them, we got a better conference record thus far than them. And they'll probably lose to Seattle. They will probably lose to Seattle this week. So if we beat the Lions and the season ended, even if the Cowboys won, and the season ended after Sunday, we might actually be in the playoffs at the number 6 seed. But after the Seattle game, I don't see San Fran losing again. I looked at their schedule. I forgot what their opponents are, but I did not predict them to lose another game. And my predictions could be wrong, of course, but I did not see them. I think they play the Rams again, and something like that. But I did not see them losing again. So, and if we win out, it's not going to matter because we win the division anyway. So the wild card will only come into play if we lose a game. So it'll be close. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we lose 1 game and still make the wild card. If we lose 2, wild card's not happening, and quite possibly the division might not happen. If we lose 1 game, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we can still get in as wild card. But I don't know. We gotta look at it for the division. That's what we gotta focus on is the division. If we lose out on the division and somehow, some way we're in the wild card, great. We got to focus on the division. 3 games left, not 4. Forget that last game. And Dallas has 3 games remaining. Again, forget that last game. 3 games to 3 games. We're tied right now. We got to get to Week 17 and that last game at the very least, tied with the Cowboys. We're tied right now, like I said. So we can afford as many losses as the Cowboys get out of these 3 games. However many losses the Cowboys have out of their 3 remaining games is all that the Eagles are allowed to have. Does that make sense? Pretty easy to think about. And the schedules are very, very similar as far as strength of schedule. Let me think. We each play the Bears. Okay. Granted, Cutler could be back for one and not the other and everything like that, but still a Bears, whatever. We play our hardest opponent, I think, is the Lions. Their hardest opponent, hopefully Aaron Rodgers is back, which I think he will be back, and I'll explain why I think he's going to be back in a second, is the Green Bay Packers. We could lose. They could lose that one, for sure, with Aaron Rodgers back. And then they play a piss-poor Redskins team. We play a piss-poor Vikings team. So the same team, 1 good and 1 bad. It's pretty much very similar in strength of schedule. So that's why this Lions game is the most important game of the Eagles season. Now, I try to not say the most important game is always the next game. That's a good rule to live by. A good saying to live by for the Eagles. But in reality, this is the most important game of the Eagles season. Last week was too. Now it's this week. I probably won't say it for the Minnesota Vikings game because we should win that one. But this is a game we need to have. This is the game that makes wondering if that Week 17 is going to be for the division. This is one of the games that make it still an unknown if that game is going to be for the division. Because you don't know. It's almost a coin flip to who will win. Mostly because you don't know what Lions team is going to show up. But I'll tell you why this is a huge game. If the Eagles win, that almost ensures that Week 17 will be for the division. It almost ensures it. And I'll tell you why. Unless the Eagles let us all down in some crazy way. Because we'll win. Dallas could lose against the Bears on Monday night. But let's just say they win. Okay? Then we go to the Vikings. We should have that one. Meanwhile, they face a terrible, that's not until week 7. Yeah, they face the Packers, which most likely will have Aaron Rodgers back. And Aaron Rodgers, if he's able to play, will play that game because they're 1.5 games back behind Detroit. We beat Detroit. Even if Aaron Rodgers don't play, the Green Bay Packers should still beat Atlanta, who's doing terrible this year. That means Green Bay is only a half a game back with 3 games remaining the rest of the year. They're only a half game back. Yeah, they're going to play Aaron Rodgers. Why wouldn't they? So, there you go. We'll make it more of an incentive for them to play Aaron Rodgers. They very well could lose that game. Matter of fact, if Aaron Rodgers plays, I think they will. I think the Dallas Cowboys will lose that game. Their defense is shit. And then we play the Bears, and if they do lose against the Packers, or if they lose against the Bears, we can afford to lose that game. If we did, which means week 17 means something. And if we beat the Lions, it's not out of possibility that we can actually wrap up the division before week 17 even gets here. Let me explain. We beat the Lions. Cowboys and Bears is a flip-flop for me. It really is. I don't even know who would be favored. I guess probably the Dallas Cowboys would be favored, but you can see them losing that game. It's in Chicago. They're retiring Mike Dick's number. The fans will be riled up. I can see Dallas losing that game. I can see it happening. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying I can see it happening. It's not like us having to depend on the Raiders or the Giants. This is a better chance of us getting what we want. I can see them losing that game. Well, now the Eagles are up 1 game. We go to face an easy Vikings team. They face the Packers, probably with Aaron Rodgers. We should beat the Vikings. They could very well lose to the Aaron Rodgers-led Packers, which now we're 2 games up in the division. All we got to do is either win 1 game out of the Bears and Cowboys, or have the Cowboys lose 1 game out of the Redskins or Eagles. Power of 1. Go into the Bears and handle our business, or hope the Redskins pull an upset. And if we lose and the Cowboys win, we're 1 game up, but we'll still have to beat the Cowboys because tying won't get it done because they hold the tiebreakers. So this Lions game is huge because if they win, if we win, now we have a chance to believe that the division will already be wrapped up before we play the Cowboys. And even if that falls apart and the Cowboys win against the Bears on Monday or whatever, even if that falls apart, it still almost ensures that we will, it almost ensures that that week 17 will mean something. All the way up to week 17 will actually mean something. And if it comes down to us needing to beat week 17, look, players remember. They hold a grudge. They really do. The whole team played so piss poor against the Cowboys that if it came down to the division, you just feel that the Eagles will come out with some kind of edge, wanting payback or revenge. It happens all the time in sports. You can see it. I can't see them losing to the Cowboys dreadfully again. Not this team. Not with the characters. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So, can the Eagles win this division? Yeah. I'm becoming more of a believer. It looks a lot better now that we got the Arizona Cardinals out of the way, because at the time, if you exclude the Cowboys and everything, I thought the Arizona Cardinals were our toughest opponent left remaining on our schedule. We got them out of there. Now the Lions are the next toughest remaining on our schedule. If we can move them out of the way, I guess the Bears become the next toughest, maybe, if you discount the Cowboys. We've been doing pretty good. The scores have been closer than what they should be because we're letting teams come back on us. We need to figure that out. But we're clearly outplaying teams. We're clearly outplaying every team we come up against for the last 4 weeks. Should have been for the last 5 weeks. We would have outplayed. We would have outplayed New York had a healthy Michael Vick or Nick Foles face them. We could have easily been on a 5-game winning streak right now. So we've been actually playing well. Clearly looking like the better team and everything. You look at the Cowboys. You look at the Cowboys in their last 4 games. The Minnesota Vikings took them down to the wire. They get destroyed by the Saints. Now, there's no fault in losing to the Saints. The Saints are a well-run team and potent offense, and it's crazy. But the way in which they did, they just got dismantled. Like, they're not even relevant. Like, get out of here, you're nothing. You know, that's what it felt like. Then they have a close game against the Giants. And then the Raiders took them to school for a good portion of that game before the Dallas Cowboys finally got it together. So, wow. And the Cowboys won 3 out of their 4 games. We won all 4. So for the most part, both teams have been winning. But we're looking more impressive than what the Cowboys are. They're squeaking by. That's why I say it's not impossible that they lose to the Bears. And it's very possible that if Rodgers comes back, they lose to the Packers. That's what makes this Lions game so important. Eagles fans, if the Eagles win against the Lions, you have every right to be very, very, very motivated, very excited, and have real reason to believe the Eagles have a great chance to make the playoffs. If we lose to the Lions, then it's kind of like, root for the Bears. And if the Cowboys beat the Bears, you're still not out of it, because we go to face an easy Vikings team. Just root for, hopefully at that time, a Rodgers-led Packers team, and hope they beat them. You know, and hope that the Packers beat the Cowboys. And if that happens, then you just got to beat the Bears. Like, we'd have to beat the Bears, and then have to beat the Cowboys. So it makes it a lot hard. But if we can all avoid that, just beat the Lions. This is a very important game. I cannot even stress how important this game is. It's going to put the Eagles in a great, great spot, even if we're still tied with the Cowboys. The reason why I say that is, I mean, think about it. It's not impossible that the Eagles can still win the division, even if we lose this game, because we can still count on possibly the Bears or hopefully a Rodgers-led Packers team to give the Cowboys another loss. And we do face an easy Vikings team, so you should be able to count on a win there, hopefully. So it would just mean the Bears game would be the wild card if the Bears or Packers, one of them, at least one of them, come through for us. We would just have to beat the Bears to make Week 17 mean something. To where if we just beat the Lions, now we're in really good position. We're a good spot, very good spot. Hope I explained that okay. I mean, I'm rambling on and on. You probably have realized what I've been talking about and get what I'm talking about without me having to ramble on, but that's what it comes down to. This is a very important game. We win this game, and it's all about who do you think is better. We beat the Lions, and we beat them. I believe the question you Eagles fans should be asking yourself is, when the Cowboys and Eagles play at Dallas, Week 17, who do you think will win that game? And that's the person you should think will be in the playoffs. If that game means anything. Because if we beat the Lions, it will either be for the division or the Eagles will already have it wrapped up before them. One of them two. Most likely for the division, but you never know. Weird things happen. That's what it comes down to. If we beat the Lions, the question you should now be asking yourself is, who will win that game, Week 17? That's what it's going to come down to. Whatever, I'm not, just something to think about. We just got to keep pace. We just got to keep pace with the Cowboys. At least end up into that game to where we're tied and then beat them in that game. That's all we got to do. I'm Eagles Truth. I'm out. Peace!